We've lost a lot of friends.
Every family and everybody has skeletons in their own closet.
They want to figure out how to one-up you.
You want to humiliate me? I thought you were supposed to be my friend.
We're not perfect, but you aren't either.
Hello, you guys, and welcome to yet another episode of Pageant Mafia. We have a lot to talk about, and once again, you guys, the overwhelming of all the comments, the love, it just means so much to us. So go ahead, subscribe, leave a comment, because we have so much to say. Trust me, you're going to want to leave a comment on this one.
Yes, absolutely. And if anybody has sent a message to us and we have not responded, we do care, guys. We are overwhelmed. We are all getting messages on Instagram, on our private Facebook pages, on my business page, and we're getting individual texts. We are trying to get with each one of you. We do care about your story, and we are so excited that all of you are wanting to share with us, and we are going to give y'all the opportunity to say what you want to say too.
Right. So with this episode, I'm so excited to talk about this topic. We're going to be talking about how some of your best friends and the people that you trust the very, very most can become your biggest haters. And I believe you can outgrow friendships. That's just part of growing up.
Absolutely.
But as far as your sake, when you've had friends for 30 plus years and you outgrow them, I feel like that might hit a little bit harder than my situations. But I've outgrown so many friendships, and to this day, I have one very best friend that I met in middle school, and outside of high school, college, and all of that, we are still best friends. But she's really the only best friend that I really have, because I've outgrown all those other relationships, and they've now become my biggest haters. But
well, as you grow up and older, you do find that friendship and loyalty is far and few between. And in the pageant industry, it is probably the worst. Pageant and business, people will love you when it's convenient for them to love you. But as soon as you start competing with them, against them, or they feel inferior or less than, or you start doing well, instead of being proud for you, they want to figure out how to one-up you. Right. And that's what we're finding out today, and what we've been through over the last few years is everybody loves you when you're on bottom. But if you ever reach the top, they're going to do all they can to bring you down. The only way they're going to rise above is by stepping on your back if you let them.
That's not true friendship, though.
No, it's not true friendship at all.
True friendship is, I'll actually call this girl out by name. I remember Riley. When I was second runner-up at Georgia Teen USA, I would look to my right, and she was in the wings, and she was sobbing, acting like she just got called into top 5. And in that moment, that's how a true friend is supposed to react. A true friend is supposed to clap for you, cry either for you or with you.
Absolutely.
And I never really realized that. I thought a friend was just with you all the time, and it was just convenience. My current friend that I was talking about, me and her are very real with each other. And I feel like that's very important, to be real with your friends. The other day, she asked me, "Hey, Ashlin, do you want to go out to eat with me?" I was like, "Girl, no." I was like, "I'm tired. I love you, but I want to go home." And she was like, "Okay, that's fine." Yeah, and that's what true friendship is.
Friendship is not about what someone else can do for you. Mm-hmm. You have to be real with your friends. You have to be honest with your friends. And I have found that through the pageant world. You've had a few friends along the way, but so many of them, they're not your true friends. I had lots of friends when I started my store. I had lots of friends.
Because everyone wanted to jump on the bandwagon.
Everybody
thought that you could do something
wanted to go to market. They wanted to know about dresses. They wanted discounts. They wanted this, that, or the other. And then when my business started doing well, they did not know how to react. And unfortunately, that's like living in a small town. There are so many people that are in your cheering section, but at the same time, as long as you don't do a little better than them, and as long as they can feel superior, they like you.
Right.
But as soon as they feel like, hey, she's doing well, let's see what we can do to tear her down.
Right.
That's society today in general. And I know you have a lot of stories in the pageant world about things that you have dealt with, as do I, in the pageant world. You know, you think you have a friend, and then, heck, they're the ones circulating pictures of you that they took off your private story and passed it along to everybody. Right. And just like the person we talked about in episode 2, she thought she had friends and thought that she was safe, and they were the ones sending her the picture of her daughter to directors and everybody else, trying to get her daughter banned from pageants, exactly like what was done to you. So, you know, and you have to wonder about these friends. Who are they? What are they doing? How do they live with themselves? How do they get up in the mornings and think that they're good people?
But also at the same time, my heart does go out to them in a way. We have talked about this, but miserable people hurt people because they are hurt every single day. So the only way that they know how to cope is to hurt other people.
Right.
Which my heart does go out to them for that. Yeah, but at the same time, fix it.
Yeah.
Because you are tearing down people and hurting people just because of jealousy, which makes me think maybe they're not happy with who they are. But at the same time, why put that all on me? I'm sorry that you're not happy with yourself, but that has nothing to do with me. And that's very blunt, you guys, but that's just how I see it. I do want to share a story and set the record straight on a few things here too.
Oh, we are all about setting some records straight.
So I had a very best friend. Gosh, she was my friend ever since primary school. And me and this girl, we did have an off and on friendship because I moved schools. Life just happened. But she had my location on Life 360. And I mean, what friends don't have that, you know, to know where you are, to make sure you need to charge your phone if you have Life 360.
You sure have me on Life 360.
I dang sure do.
You know exactly where I'm at.
But this girl screenshotted my location, decided to send it around to a few people, probably even posted it on her story that I was blocked from, telling everyone that I was in jail. I have never been to jail. Also, Period. Also, why would you want to publicly humiliate someone too? And also, you're going off of a lie. You're going off of something that you know nothing about. Let's also mention that. And
that is what society does, though. You do realize everybody goes on something that they don't know about.
Every family and everybody has skeletons in their own closet that they do not want to be
Absolutely.
aired. But my thing is, you are my friend. If you think a horrible situation has happened, how about picking up the phone, calling me? Hey, are you okay? Not to mention, my family has been through things too. I'm here for you. But you want to humiliate me? I thought you were supposed to be my friend.
Absolutely.
Like, that honestly just baffled me. Honestly, knowing this person and also knowing what this person has been through, that you're also trying.
Okay.
They just wanted the attention off of themselves and off of their family.
But let's say this. We do know about living in glass houses.
Right.
Okay? And everybody has a story, and everybody has been through something. Mm-hmm. Okay? We do not have a friend or anybody, like you said in one of the other podcasts, what are you, Jesus?
Right.
You are going to make a mistake. There's only one person that ever walked the earth that was perfect, and that was Jesus Christ.
Right.
So we're not perfect, but you aren't either. You know, and my thing is, you want to call somebody else out for some mistakes they have made or make up rumors about them, girl, you better be, as my mama used to say, sweeping around your own back door.
Right.
Because you know what? You need to do some sweeping, because living in glass houses causes lots of problems. I've been there all my life. You don't judge others and make fun of others when you have your own issues. And we all have them. We all have baggage. We all have issues. But to be a friend, that's what this podcast is about. maybe this isn't as funny and what we are planning to do on these podcasts, but this is about friendship. But really, they're frenemies. Really, they're not a friend.
Right.
And somebody that you've been friends with for 30 years just vanishes.
Right.
They disappear
But
when you
it's
get in a
not-
situation, or you've been friends with them for whatever, and they're supposed to be your friend. They come and stay at your home. They stay. What about the friendships that I've had with people that will come to my business and coach and teach or do whatever, and I would help them get clients and come in, and they would stay in our home and do this and that, and then the next thing I know, they're trying to destroy my daughter.
Right.
What kind of friend is that?
I think the worst part about it all is they didn't just vanish. It didn't go from best friends to never speaking again.
Right.
It
Not
went
all of
from
them.
best friends to try to destroy you.
Right. And why?
So it's
And
like,
why?
where was that flip? And what I had to realize is it's not a me issue, it's a them
Right.
issue. Because in the grand scheme of things, I know that I valued my friendship and that I did everything I could to keep my friendship, and that they messed up on their end.
Right.
And I guess I am putting the blame on them, because I know what hurts the worst is when they're like family.
Right.
And when you
100%.
feel like your family has betrayed you, because everyone has best friends that have become family.
Right.
But when they try to compete with you and destroy you, then it makes you think, like, what really is friendship? And I have detached myself. I'll be real honest. I've detached myself from making friends because I don't want to be burned again. I don't want to be hurt again. A friendship breakup, in my opinion, I
hard.
think that's worse than a real breakup, because like I said, it's your family that's no longer your family.
A friendship breakup is a relationship that's changing. And if you have a breakup with a friend, it's like having a breakup with a boyfriend or a husband, it's a true friendship. Mm-hmm. And excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm getting off. I get very emotional about losing friends, and we've lost a lot of friends because we value them obviously more than they valued us. Right. And it hurts. And you know what really hurts is people make mistakes all the time. And if you make a mistake and you hurt a friend, you pick up the phone and you call and say, I screwed up.
Yeah, own up to it.
I'm sorry. That's another thing.
Put on your big girl panties.
Big girl panties. And I'm not fat shaming. I have to say that every time, y'all, because I don't want anybody to think I'm fat shaming because I'm accused of everything. Put your big girl panties on. Say you screwed up. Say you messed up.
Have accountability.
And you know what? If I got a phone call or a message saying, I'm sorry, I messed up, forgive me, they're forgiven. It's over. I can move on.
Right.
But we're not doing this, calling people out to hurt them or make them feel bad. We're doing this trying to save other people and for people to look at friendship and different things differently and to understand. And I'm telling you, young girls that compete in pageants and business owners or whatever, if you've hurt someone, say you're sorry.
Yeah, and fix it.
Say you're sorry. Fix it.
The friendship that I was talking about that I still have with Amber, many times I've had to come to her and say, hey, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I shouldn't have said that. And she has also came to me saying, hey, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. When you said this, I felt like this, and vice versa. Communication in any relationship is important. Friendship relationships, spouse relationships, having communication and accountability, owning up to something can really make a difference. And this is my thing. And you and I have talked about this. Even if you really don't mean it.
No, seriously, there are times.
Put your pride aside.
Right. If you really hurt someone or they think you've hurt them, but you don't see it that way, tell them you're sorry. The thing of it is if you love them, you want to make them feel better. It's not about you. It's about your friend.
Right.
And if you have hurt them or they feel hurt, And apologizing will help them to feel closure. You should do that. Even if you think what you said wasn't a big deal, it could have been to them. And that it also goes back to taking accountability. Mm-hmm. And just like I was talking in one of the first episodes, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And those mistakes are on me. And I'm sorry for them. I'm apologizing. I don't blame anybody else, and I'm not criticizing anybody else. And I don't think anybody else has made bad decisions and that I'm better or that I'm doing better. I take full responsibility for making bad decisions through life.
But that's
and
how
it
you
hurting
build character,
people.
too.
And it hurts people when I have done that. And I want to own up to it and say that I'm sorry. But I also want other people to realize that you can't just go through life hurting people, because in the long run, it's not going to make you feel better.
And there needs to be consequences also.
Right. You need to be called out for what you've done. If you can't apologize and you can't see it, again, we go back to, what does this cause? Being an enemy. For teenagers, it causes depression, suicidal thoughts, hurting yourself, feeling less than, going through depression. We recently have had several tragedies in this area, whether it has been suicidal, tragic car wrecks, a lot of different bad things over the last few weeks for these teenage kids. And in a lot of cases, I think adults don't realize the impact they have on a child's life. Right. A teenager is still a child, and they're still learning and growing. And adults, especially adults that have children, small children, how do you want to raise them? Do you want them to grow up being the hateful, mean person that you are?
This is my question to those people. How would you feel if your child was being treated the way that you are treating me?
Absolutely.
Where is the time that you look in a mirror? That's what I want to know. How do you self-reflect? And are you seriously okay with your child going through everything that you are putting someone else through? And another thing that hurt for me is, I know you lost some really valuable friends, but they were also friends to me. Right. They were also friends and family to me.
They were mentors.
And you guys, the type of hurt that we are talking about, it isn't little baby hurt, such as, oh, your shoes are ugly, your shirt's ugly. This is hurt that is going to be with me for the rest of my life, that I constantly replay the hurt of people that were family to the people that were trying to sabotage me. That's a hurt that I can forgive, but that's not a hurt that I will be able to ever forget.
But the thing of it is it just has to make you stronger. Mm-hmm. You learn from mistakes, whether they're yours or others. You still learn from those mistakes.
Right.
So, and that's very important.
Yep. And you guys, we do want to know if you've ever been hurt by a friend or betrayed by a friend. Leave it in the comments. Let it all out. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all subscribe and like, and we will see y'all next time.
Bye.